there we go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for finding some time to spend some with me again today. I do appreciate you finding some time. You might have seen that Christian is in the thumbnail with me. And you might be wondering where he be. And I'll be letting you know that he is having a conversation with my family. We should be mic'd up. Let me add this little wind muffler, and then we should have semi-noiseless audio. You might hear burby cheep cheep in the background, but that is to be expected. Same verb, same sounds when we're sitting here. I had a moment today while practicing yoga when I did my twists, and I twisted to the one side. A hummingbird landed next to me, and I felt very special. I felt very at peace and tranquil. Felt so tranquil that hummingbirds was close. Make sense? And then I had to transition into my next pose, and I chased the little hummingbird away again. I'm so tranquil there are spiders on me. Come here, spider. Yeah, come here. Look at that little spider dude. Doing a little webbing. Let's put him down. There you go, bro. Yeah, that's better. Joy Beef, second, but cushion is unoccupied currently. It's true. It's almost like there's space here for someone to come and sitteth. To come and be comfortable. I might have to shimmy it one way or another, but plans can be made. I'm going to get present with you, friends, and start talking about making the mission. Lighting's kind of bad. Part of me wants to make the mission to make the lighting better, but at the same time, I'm willing to be okay. Be okay with what this is. Be okay with being out of the sunlight, to be completely honest. I have been extra sensitive to sun exposure. And I really don't know if it's placebo at this point. Because I have definitely been more mindful of sun and the potential damages that it induces. But I feel I feel it. Let's just say it in so many words. I literally feel it. Not even being directly in the sunlight, but even just being in a place where there is a lot of, like out here, right? I can still feel the light hitting me nonstop, right? And it kind of like causes me low pain. Spider put butt silk on your hand. True. Better than spider put venom fangs inside of flesh, right? If those are the options, then I think I won in that exchange. Spiders. Being scared of things have not served me. I feel like that definitely has been a conversation that I've come up today as well. Parsing, thinking about how fearing one thing or another can limit us so much. A modicum of understanding. Like how can I see bad things as the opportunity to make the mission? For instance, all right, something that I will try to not talk about much after right now, but I'll have to show you something. I'll have to show you. Let me show you something. Might be like, what's happening right now? Where are we going? Inside room. I'm taking you friends to the mirror because I think that's the only way I can show you. And there you should be able to see. We're doing some infinityceptions. But I freaking dropped my phone yesterday and completely busted my screen. Like, this is what it looks like on a good day. Sometimes. Sometimes I'll get worse. And it's been breaking my heart. It's really been breaking my heart. And I'm realizing that in this heartbreak, there is like a bunch of different ways in which I can process this information. And the one I've been trying to process within is one, of course, acceptance, because what else can I do but accept this reality? There definitely was this moment of it happening, picking the phone up and seeing it all cracked and broken and being like, oh, this is a dream. I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming right now. Right, and then as soon as you realize you're not in fact dreaming, and this has happened, I started thinking about the missions to make. Right, what missions need to be made, what we need to do, where we need to go, what we need to spend, how we need to get this fixed. Sam, bless. Good day, maters. Joy, Sam, Nancy, Melt, and is that a Christian? That is a Christian. There is a Christian among us. He's not here right now. But he's close. He is close. And as soon as he reaches a point of saturation, I'm sure he'll be here. Maybe I'll even end up ending this vertical stream and doing a horizontal stream so he can be extra included. I will say, says Sam, I bought this case of velvet caviar, not expecting a whole lot, but the phone has been dropped so many times and has not incurred a bit of damage. But by the girly case, folks. I mean, I have a case on my phone. I have dropped my phone thousands of times as well. I just got a little bit unlucky this time. This time, this specific drop was not my turn to not have my phone broken. And you friends were here alongside me for this year that we've had. So I've just been like bruh, like feeling like I'm getting beaten down. And I think I might not be the only one. I think there's probably a lot of us that have in one way or another been taking a beating. And it seems like we are being called to awareness. Maybe that's a nice way to say it. Called to awareness of what is important and what is valuable and the impermanence of it all. The impermanence of it all. I am a romantic. I wanted to continue using my phone for multiple more years. And maybe I still will. But fixing the screen is going to be expensive. And it's literally cheaper buying another one. Sam, mine wasn't the case, but I dropped it. I didn't know how it broke, but mine is literally in the same condition Melt's is as of 2 days ago. I didn't know if you heard that, but Joy Vive's phone also fell and also broke, and half her screen is also not working right now. What are the odds? What are the odds that 3 of our friends, just in this immediate space, boss is getting you a new laptop? I hope so. I do hope so. Part of me wants to make the case as well that my phone is like my work device, and that maybe it's not a bad idea getting myself a new one. But don't tell me that I'm thinking about that. A new phone, like the one I have right now, is so expensive. Fixing the screen is going to be $300 as well. And there are phones for $200 that will still do all the same thing this one does. And I don't know if I can justify getting myself one of the expensive ones right now, at least. I would rather not. I would rather wait. Maybe mine dropped face down onto 3 broken screens in the last 3 weeks. Does that sound like the stats? Bonkers. No way. Yeah, it seems like we definitely did get some challenges, right? Some missions that weren't necessarily on our agenda. The mission of have to get phone screen fixed because it's broken, not work good. And then this part of us, it's like I don't want to have this mission. This is not the mission that I wanted to be preoccupied with right now. The fact that it's sometimes working, like if it's off for a long time and I turn it on, the bottom of the screen is completely dead. And then like Jovan taught me a trick where you push your finger on the cracks, and like the amount of like lines of damage is like widening. There used to be like only like 1 pixel width of lines, and now there are like thousands, like this much of pixel width of lines, like through the screen. But it's working again, right? And again, it's like almost like this problem solving thing. It's like I'm now preoccupied with thinking thoughts and feeling things that I might not have wanted to. And every single time I unlock my phone, I'm confronted with these feelings and thoughts once again. It's so freaking hilarious. Yeah, my boss is getting me a new laptop tomorrow. Huzzah! That is super cool. Mine fell on a linoleum floor. It shouldn't have broken. This thing has been through some battles. And I said this to myself as well with it happening. It's like all of this bad stuff that happened is like it's like bullshit, and bullshit is good fertilizer. And all of this fertilizer is now going to become a part of our past, become a part of our ground, become a part of our dirt, our stuff. And it's going to fertilize all of the blooms, all of the flowers, all of the growth that awaits us in the new year. So thank you. Thank you, universe, for breaking my phone now so I can have a good year next year. That's how it works. That's totally how it works. Don't ask me how I know. Huffs more copium. Joy, that's why I love this case. The bumper edge prevents the screen and cameras from making contact with anything when it gets dropped. Yeah, mine too. Mine also has that bumper. Like if it hits the ground or a rock in a way where it hits the screen first, do you have all of your stuff backed up? The phone is still working, at least, right? In that way, backing my stuff up and having my files. I do have all of my stuff backed up, just to give that as added context. But it's still working, right? And I am really like fighting this inner narrative. And I think the one side of the narrative had already won. I'm going to end up in the short term buying a $200 phone because it's more affordable than fixing this phone right now, right? And maybe down the line, if I, have the cash available, then we can fix this one as well, and then we'll have a backup phone in case something happens to this one, you know, potentially, hopefully not again. So that's kind of where I am at right now. Like, get a cheap, you know, budget entry level phone and have something in the meanwhile, and then have this phone as like almost like, I think it's I am thinking and hoping a lot. I am willing to acknowledge challenges. Challenges and missions set on our path, almost like little NPCs that suddenly interject in the middle of your quest, like, oh, actually solve this problem now. And there is some sort of satisfaction to be taken in getting things done. The thing that's kind of wild to me is the fact that fixing the broken glass on this thing is more expensive, like three times more expensive, 300% more expensive than fixing the glass on my mom's car. Right when they busted that back window and stole my stuff, that was cheaper to fix and replace than this will be. And I guess it does make sense because there's screen technology, but it's just the scale of things, I guess, is melting my brain a little bit. Taking deep breaths. Willing to acknowledge that these things happen, right? I feel like that's kind of the wisdom I've been applying as well. They ought not to. It would be nice if they didn't. But when they do, finding some sort of capacity to understand or to be okay despite. Again, there is this really surreal sense of getting taught the lesson that is acceptance. Acceptance more than anything. My mind is doing a bunch of things in consideration. Taking a moment of quiet. I feel like maybe in some way a part of me hasn't accepted. Me and Christian had this whole conversation about how when something happens that you wish didn't, there is this either replaying of the actual moment or a wishing to go back, suffering, a want for things to be differently. Finding contentment at this moment. Why not get the screen on your phone replaced? It's $300, Nancy. And that will happen, but I do live streams every day using this screen, this phone. So I don't really have the alternative in this way. Maybe I could do it on my tablet potentially. But yeah, the phone as a job, right? The phone also takes the photos that make up my art, and the phone has a good camera, so I get high pixel count when I go into making my art, which is important to me. And I do want to have the screen replaced. That's what I'm like thinking. I'm like bargaining with myself right now. Like wondering if I need to get myself another phone first and then, you know, save up to get the screen replaced. Then try and continue using this phone for as long as I can in the process of saving while still having the quality that we need. And then when we need to send it in to have it fixed, we'll still have something to continue doing the live streams on. It is mangling my brain a little bit. Because that's the big thing. $300 for a new screen or a new phone. $300 for the new screen, and it's going to be $200 for a new phone. So I'll end up saving immediately, and I'll end up with technically another computer which can do the same things this one can do. It will be significantly slower, admittedly, like a lot slower, because it's a very like entry-level device. It's a Redmi P13 or something like that, the one I'm looking at, because it's cheap. And it will do the job that it needs to do as good as I can expect it to. And it's gonna be an extra $100 we don't have to spend right now. My mind is just like taking this as the challenge. Like I'm coming back and back to a place of getting challenged. Of like, bruh, how am I supposed to be okay with this? Like no part of me is okay with this. Every part of me is internally screaming. And I don't know if it will stop. It seems not. Oh, that was a nice yawn. Making the mission. I had a cracked screen, and it was $75 if I wanted to replace. My phone was super old, so I got a new phone. Yeah, mine is relatively old. It's going on its 5th year, but it's still, it was at that point considered a good phone, right? So it's still to me a good phone, and I don't plan on replacing mine. I wanted to use it for at least two more years, right? Like maybe 3, maybe 4. And it is kind of a bummer that it cracked. And I think the reason it is as expensive as it is because it has curved edges, right? So it's not just a flat LCD or OLED, which would be cheaper to manufacture. It's curved. It has like curved glass and stuff. I think that's why it's so freaking ridiculously expensive. Yeah, but I don't like, again, the way it is right now. If it was just flickering and like some dimmed, technically like half the brightness of the top screen, I think I'm okay with that. I can be okay with that. That part I can be okay with. I'm not okay with it that it is the way it is, but I can be okay with the fact that it at least is usable. But the fact that every morning, well, this morning and when I left it for, a few hours and I unlock it again, and then the bottom screen is not visible at all, right? That's where my keyboard is, of like typing titles, and that's where my camera shutter button is, and that's where the buttons is to click on the application that is the one that executes the stream, right? So if I lose the bottom of my screen completely, like completely, then I do kind of have a problem, a little bit. And I don't want that. I don't want that problem. It's a problem I can't solve for myself right now, and I don't like those. I like solvable problems. I do. Seems like a lot. It's okay. It's okay. This year has just been, one thing after another a little bit. Like the amount of financial damage taken. It is it is stark. It's like, oh, this too. Now this too. We even had like a moment today with the puppies. One of the puppies feeling a little bit sick. Made me feel sick as well. Like, bro, not this as well. My brother has been disassembling his car essentially. Ants put nesting material inside the little holes that's supposed to be the overflow for the drain to the floor. So it went into the car to the point where there was literally a water level at the bottom of his vehicle. Thank goodness there was no electronic shorts or something like that as well. It's been tense. It's been tense. Feeling the sense of a little bit of we have this word in Afrikaans that I've said many times. It goes moedeloos. Feeling moedeloos. Moedeloos, moed means to have like will. And loos is to be without it, to have lost it. Right? To feel like you have like your will to live. Like slowly but surely chipped away at, like things siphoning your life force. That's kind of the experience I feel like a lot of us have probably had this year. So many things sucking our life force. Taking a deep breath alongside you, friends. Breathing into our life force. Thinking about the fact that Christian is just not looking for us either. I think that's sucking some of my life force right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna make this thing click. And I'm gonna meditate with you friends again. In my mind, I'm gonna be calling for Christian. I'm gonna be like, Christian, come and join us for stream, Christian. You should join us. 5 minutes. Hey, Kate. How's the phone? Good morning. Phone's wrecked still. I can't relate, man. Sending some wholesome mental states your way. Thank you for that, bro. That's so nice. Or let me just say friend. Thank you for that, friend. And still, I think that's something that I have to vocalize. When you feel hopeless, when the world makes you feel hopeless, when circumstances make you feel hopeless, it is ultimately people that bring that hope back to your heart, right? And it is you, friends, who have brought that hope to me in so many different ways. My phone, and I'm suddenly super grounded. It forced me to reevaluate my circumstances. Like, okay, this is where we are now. Gotta be extra pressure, and gravity. Yeah. It does induce a certain mindfulness. You are right about that, Sean. Is Hoopy here too? He is, bless. We have been talking a little bit about that, Kate. It is doing a disco thing, flickering on and off a little bit. But it worked enough for us to get this live stream up and running. And that's all I really want, right? I wanted to keep doing just this for as long as possible. I don't know if I'm expecting too much, but if it can hold on for like a year, just like 1 year, come on, right? I'm imagining someone like wounded in battle. They just like lost a leg or something. They're like on the ground. And then, the medic is like, come on, bro, just hang on for 1 year. I'm gonna be back any second now. Puts gun back on their on their person. It's like, you keep being a soldier. You should soldier just as hard as you were soldiering just before. But now with one of your legs gone. Is this too much? Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm dramatizing a little bit. Just a little bit. We are sensitive human beings, right? I haven't broken much in my life, right? Especially not so when it comes to technology. Breaking my technology does not serve me. No, sir. It feels like I'm doing myself a massive disservice. I'm all. Yeah, it's true. There you go. Hoopy from the RPAN days. I'm really thinking about what Joe said about being grounded. I have been pretty grounded as well since it happened. Peg leg pirate warrior time, boy. Would be nice. Would be nice if I could peg leg pirate warrior. I like the fact that you continued going on with the whole soldier having his leg blown off. Peg leg pirate warrior. How can we embrace the peg leg pirate warrior ethos? How can we be like the peg leg pirate warrior? What would the what would the peg leg pirate warrior do? Try saying that 5 times fast. What would the peg leg pirate warrior do? What would the peg leg pirate warrior do? What would the peg leg? Okay, it's not that hard. Fine. I'm looking at moss and stuff. There's like moss growing. You want to see the moss I'm looking at? Look at that patch of moss. Just like growing on bricks. The audacity. The hubris. The tenacity. Life finds a way. Hey! It's nice seeing you here too, Rabbit. Bless you, friend. But then about 6 months later, I think I missed the previous comment, did I? Yeah, I had my laptop stolen in Chicago when I was working a trip. Actually had the guy on hotel's camera taking it. Heartbreaking. But I had insurance, so everything was back. That's nice at least. But then about 6 months later, I got a call from a pawnbroker in Chicago. He had my laptop and sent it back to me. Goodness. Yeah, like I heard so many beats of I live in a first world country. Most people here in South Africa don't have insurance, so that's like one of them. That's one of them. Like your laptop gets stolen, which happens more here than probably it happens in America. And then you don't have insurance on top of that. And then if your laptop is ever discovered, it's not going to be sent back. I'm super happy that that was the turn of events, right? You did technically get to have your cake and eat it too, right? Lausanne, so much Lavins. Always gotta get pet the fuzzy moss. Yes, the fuzzy moss also likes getting petted. I'm sure. I had to think about it, but I'm still sure. I think if I'm not directly harming it or eating it, it getting pets is nice. It likes it. Makes sense to me. My mind is still doing some questioning. Like I want to make it make sense for myself, but I don't know if they feel like that. Maybe I can feel like that. It makes me feel nice. Boom. Boom. Conundrum resolved. I don't think Christian is joining us for this one. I'm gonna end our vertical stream, and then I'm gonna go look for him, and then I'll find him or not. But then I'll come back and I'll do a horizontal stream for a hot minute too. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me for this one, for a few moments, for us to talk about the things that happen and that create missions in our life that we might not anticipate. That's the problem we're going to face. But learning and showing ourselves just how much we're capable of in the process of getting these missions done. Can you imagine? Well, in Chicago, by law, pawnbrokers have to keep pawned electronics for 6 months. So he was getting ready to format it to sell, and he thought that it looked important. So he found my contact info and got it back to me. Amazing. That really is cool. Gives you a lot of hope, right? Gives you a lot of hope in humanity. Other people, right? Like some people, like, and I feel like again, I can't really be angry at any other people than myself in this immediate moment of my screen being broken. But just the fact that I can sympathize and have your friends' sympathies in this moment, these things do help, making us feel like, yeah, we've been through these things. They haven't ended our existences, and we're still continuing forward. I love you, friends. Namaste. See you again in another moment.